Yo, yo, yo. It's almost game time, people. It's almost game time, man. We about to knock these Colts around for a little bit, and that's what I'm looking for. Some tone and tenor. I just want to see I want to see our depth, and I want to see some aggressiveness out there on that field. Those are the main two things I'll be looking forward to. But before we get into some of these storylines, and there are a lot of them, there are several storylines to talk about, and we're going to cover them all in this show. Before we get to there, we're trying to get to 500 subs. Why? It's because YouTube gives you a few extra cool tools to work with once you get to little 500. It's not that much, but we're at 492 right now. And my hope is to get us to 500 before the end of this show. Just to show some good favor to the fellas, man. You know we try to bring you guys the best Bears content we possibly can. So let's see if you can guys push us over the top and push us to 500. But with that being said, these storylines as you saw on the thumbnail, Travis Gibson and Terrell Lewis. One storyline to talk about. Are they in competition for the same spot? Is there one how would I say in threat of being cut from the team? I don't know. I think based on what I heard Greg Bragg say, and he's had a bird's eye view on the whole camp, the entire camp. He said without a doubt, Terrell Lewis was the best pass rusher in the camp all throughout camp. It's not even a question. Travis Gibson had a hell of a game last week, and he really showed. I want to know is he able to keep that going? Can he bring that same energy, that same intensity that he brought last game? Can he bring it here? Can he do that consistently? And I know for a fact that's what the coaches are scratching their head about. They want to know, can he keep bringing that? Is that something we can count on week in and week out? So without further ado, we got a bunch of other storylines to talk about, but I don't want to get too carried away because we do have co-hosts here and they're waiting to talk too. So what do you guys think about the very first storyline, Gibson and Terrell Lewis?
Well, what if Mr. Gibson comes out and balls out again today? What happens then? What do you do? Honestly, I'm loving it. This is a question that I didn't think I'd be talking about. Right, I thought we might be having, there might be a little bit of a problem at that end of the defensive line. End of the day, this is a good story. We have an embarrassment of riches right now. I'm playing obviously, but if Travis Gibson comes out today and balls out, things will be put into question. They'll have to make some special considerations, even though. It's a different story when the lights are shining bright, right? When you're on the field and in prime time and the cameras are playing and showing, who shows up is a very important question to answer. But I'll leave it there and throw it to Triple R. What do you think, bro?
Well, this is the time for the real Travis Gibson to please stand up. Please stand up. Please stand up. Because he's shown that flash was his rookie year that he had those 7 sacks. So it's like, all right, let's stack on that and see your development. Then he fell off. Who knows what? But he's had a good camp thus far. This new regime that did not draft him is giving him every opportunity to show what he's got, whether it be for a position on this 53-man roster or maybe to get his trade value up around the league. Don't know. But Terrell Lewis has also been nasty, in camp. So being that, we are deciding between, the homegrown guy who's been here, ready to pop, hopefully, or the guy free agent that we brought in who's ready to pop, hopefully. It's just a good position to be in. And, this preseason game against the Colts and the final preseason game may determine, that battle. So the consistency part is what we're going to need to see from Gibson and Lewis for that matter, and anybody else that steps up and wants to throw their helmet into the ring.
I'll tell you one thing, something I take note of. I pay close attention to all details. Anything coming out that's noteworthy, I will take note of. One thing that I noticed during this week, during joint practices is, I heard pretty much all the names that you normally hear in a practice. Didn't hear Travis Gibson's name. I don't recall once during the week. Not to say that he didn't flash during the joint practices or anything. I just didn't hear his name. I heard Terrell Lewis multiple times. And so I'm just kind of I know the two of those guys are probably competing against each other personally to see who can make the most plays. You know, Travis probably feels like Terrell Lewis was signed to put pressure on him, and Terrell Lewis probably rightfully feels like I'm here to take his place. I need to go do my job and take his damn place. And so I think that kind of those guys are probably pretty close personally when they're in the locker room. But once you get on that field, it's no holds barred, man. You got to go win a job. It doesn't matter how close you are with that guy. You need to go win a job because if you noticed last week, Travis Gibson got a sack, and you best believe that very next play, Terrell Lewis was screaming in there and got a sack right after him. I don't know if people noticed that sequence, but I saw that happen. And so, I mean, yeah, it's a bunch of position groups that are really.
Well, hold on. Let me ask you something, Nomad. As a player, when you are on a team and those are your brothers that you're going to battle with, but when you are battling for that roster spot, how does that play out personally? And if you are, this is a teammate, you're working out together, you're friendly with them, but how does that competition work between teammates?
It's all love in the locker room and off the field. But when you get on the grass, it's every man for himself. It's every man for himself. That's understood. That's understood. When we get out there, we boys, man. I love them. I mean, we're gonna be brothers for the rest of our lives just because of the connections and the bonds that we made. But I need that spot. And he's gonna say, I need it too. So we just gonna have to go. I mean, that's just the way it is, man. I came in as a freshman and got really close with my senior, who we call it. They basically take a freshman under their wing. The guy was a senior. He should have been a starter before I got there. And I let him know, man, I ain't come here to sit on the bench. He said, I know you did, but you're going to have to take it. I said, I'm going to take it. But we was tight as hell off the field, man. He took me to go visit my girlfriend in Tennessee and everything, man. It was all good. But so, yeah, they have bonds, but they know they have a job to do, and it's nothing personal after that. You can be for certain about that. But go ahead, kids.
Yeah, I was listening to Ryan Poles earlier today, and he was talking about competition. And I think that's really what we're seeing here is just that competition between those teammates breeding excellence. And that's great. Like that, again, that's exactly the position you want to be in. You want to see and evaluate these two pass rushers, as well as the other two behind them. See what you actually have. If Travis was the odd man out, I think, again, he played with a chip on his shoulder last week. I'm going to say here today, I don't think that chip has gotten any smaller or left the shoulder. He might not be showing it out every day at practice. We'll see what he does when the lights are bright, and that's when you need him to do it. That's where I am with Travis. I can't expect much. I haven't heard anything this week with respect to him. His performance was relatively low key from all accounts. Even then, we'll see what he does today. He has the opportunity, and it's not just today. He has the opportunity this season to change the narrative completely about who Travis Gibson actually is. He kind of has to play with a chip on his shoulder for the entirety of this season. If we can get that out of Travis Gibson, I think it'd be, it's definitely a great place for us to be.
Hey, I got it, Nomad.
Go ahead.
According to Jason McKee, out for today. Justin Fields, Eddie Jackson.
The list.
Nate Davis, Jaquan Brisker, Chase Claypool, Velus Jones, Tyler Scott, DeMarcus Walker, Tremaine Edmonds, Yannick Ngakoue, Treston Ebner, Jalen Johnson, Cody Whitehair, Darnell Wright, Braxton Jones, Andrew Billings, Nate Davis, Darnell Mooney, Lucas Patrick, DJ Moore, Khalil Herbert, TJ Edwards, Kari Blasingame, Justin Jones, Mercedes Lewis, Kyler Gordon, Dylan Cole.
So, you know what that just said to me?
What in the Matt Nagy is going on here?
Number one, J2K Velus got hurt I think after the first practice in Indy, I think that's kind of in line with what happened. I don't know what happened. He came up a little bit lame, so I don't think that has to do with anything about sitting a veteran. I think he legitimately got hurt. But it's basically we're going to see. We need to find out. And I was telling people earlier on Twitter, I'm not interested in the front end of the roster. I know what we have on the front end of the roster. I need to see the other half of it. I need to see that other 40 percentile or so. That we need to see what kind of depth we have, because you know why? There's over 1,000 players. I said this the last time we went live. There's over 1,000 players right now. Greedy Williams is on the waiver wire. Ronnie Harrison is on the waiver wire. Several guys, several people have already been cut. There's a lot of talent on the waiver wire. So it's in our best interest to put the other end of our talent pool out there and put it on display. Let's see what you have. Let's see what you don't have. So to me, that's what it's all about.
Greedy Williams is on the chopping block?
He just got cut by the Eagles, man. There's other guys too, man.
It's the kids got to show me what you got. Show me what you got. Because Ryan Poles, the power Poles compels you. There's some talent out there, youngin, or veteran. Yeah. So yeah, and so he and Ian Cunningham, walking around the field in their weighted vest, getting their minds right, getting their bodies right, keeping their souls tight, and looking at the field, looking at their talents, and we put together some nice talent. How can we improve? I love it. I ain't mad at nothing.
Save some bodies. Looks like they performed well this week. Again, by all accounts, it sounds like we trounced. We went over the Colts home base and just trounced them. So it's fine to have most of these guys sitting today. I don't have a major problem with that. I want to see just about everybody else perform. I'm interested in the quarterback battle, the running back battle. There's still some interesting heads there to watch.
So I would say this, man. I think this game is because you're gonna see the next subject line with the D tackles and what do you expect to see out of Pickens, Dexter, those two guys, man, and what's his name, Travis Bell. But I think this game is designed for the coaches and the personnel to get a good look at what we have. It's all for them. It's all for them to put it on tape tomorrow when everybody's gone home and decide who they want to start cutting down early. Can this guy make it? Is this guy going to provide us the right kind of depth? Because you're probably going to see a lot of Dieter and Doug Kramer at center. Probably Doug Kramer first. You want to see him first, and then you need to see Dieter, who's probably going to go behind him. But there's a lot of storylines, man. You want to know what we have at nickel. We know we've got Kyler as a starter. Josh Blackwell hasn't been playing. He's been hurt. What is Greg Stroman going to bring us to the table? What does Noah Sewell look like in the first team defense? We got a taste of it last week. I mean, there's a lot. The Marquise Gates. We just signed 2 brand new linebackers. Davion Taylor, who was really good when he was at Philly. And we also have Michael Walker we need to take a good look at. I'm pretty sure both those guys will play. But I believe this is all about the rookies and the guys that we've upboarded onto the team, these new pieces that we have. Let's see what we have and what we don't have. And we know what next move to make as far as the coaches and the brass in the upper offices. So I think that's what this is about.
Something that I wanted to ask that I heard Greg Gabriel, shout out to the Podfather and Greg Gabriel, Barroom Network. But he said, personally, he's seen enough of Travis Bell to be like, yeah, we like this kid. We don't want to put more on tape for the league to see of him because of Jones and Billings and everybody that's ahead of him. So his suggestion would be like, phantom injury IR and have him develop. And then when Jones's contract is up next year, we bring him up. So we basically stash him. What are your thoughts on that, fellas? Chat, no maniacs.
Go for it, kids.
I I didn't hear that at all. I got to watch. I missed Greg Gabriel this week. So Travis Bell is impressing, is what you're saying, and this is cool to hear. Again, embarrassment of riches. We'll see what that actually looks like. We pulled him from the depths of nowhere. This is exactly, you know what I mean? This is exactly what you want to hear. You want to hear Ryan Poles as some sort of, he's like Mr. Burns sitting back, just rubbing his hands together, figuring this stuff out, finding seventh rounders. You know what I'm saying? Excellent. Pulling them out of nowhere, right? But yeah, okay. Man, I don't know. Like, so you're saying we got to stash him, and that's brilliant. Okay, you know, I again, we'll see where all this lands, because Nomad kind of just blew my mind by saying somebody like Greedy is out there right now. It's not like we're really in, you know, the cornerback market, but what the hell? Why, you know what I'm saying? Why not do something like that if you have that first priority? So things are going to get really interesting real fast.
So before we go any further, let me shout out to a producer, Nick, who hooked us up on Twitch. We just had our first Twitch message put in there. So you guys can definitely catch us on Twitch. We stream live through Twitch right now. So just so you guys know, it's YouTube, it's Twitch, it's Facebook, it's all kinds of different platforms. But yes, just got our first comment. And thank you, Deplorable, for that. So,
New York representing Bears fans.
Yeah, so about Travis Bell, he's interesting. I'll tell you why. It's about whether or not the coaches and the GM and the assistant GM have seen enough of him in practices to where they're pretty confident that they don't need to play him in the game. Do they think they've seen enough, or do they want to see a little bit more of him in a game in the next couple of games? I don't know yet. I mean, but the premise is definitely something to think about. You know, you don't want to play him too much to get other teams to get a good feast at what he can do. I mean, I believe they know what he can do anyway, based on the stuff that's on tape. I don't think you gain any kind of advantage by not playing the guy. But
here's the thing:
on the practice squad, you're going to lose, and this is all.
If he gets a lot of reps and he starts showing out, it's like, damn, who's a 73? Damn, 73, 73, 73. Now you can't be like, let's put him on the practice squad. Nah, somebody's gonna be like, yeah, we want that 73 fella that was showing out for the Bears. You know, now he's pushing the veterans, you know, for that.
It's just like Jatyree Carter. It's just like Jatyree Carter last year. You know, we felt like Jatyree probably wouldn't play during the season, but he never touched that damn practice squad. Not one.
Zachary Thomas, and he got scooped up.
Hey, but you know, I didn't think Zach Thomas had what it take as far as his strength, his core strength, anyway, to play on this level. I don't know what they're doing with him.
But do we have the roster space to bring on Bell to, you know, not risk him out there on the practice squad?
Well, you got to listen to them. They're all about, they believe in the guys that they draft, and they want to develop them. The same as Velas, the same as Jatyree Carter. Any guy that they've drafted, they put an emphasis on development. So they didn't draft the guy to bring him in here and not take the time to develop him. They believed in him when they got him. He's showing them what they want to see in him. I think they keep him and develop him. I don't think they put him on the practice squad. They're going to find a place on the roster for him, I think. But let's slide into this next subject, man, because it's actually the same subject. You know what I want to see from all those guys, whether it be, I don't think Travis Bell has a pad level problem. I think that problem is definitely Zach Pickens and Javon Dexter. I want to see three things out of those guys. First thing I want to see is explosion. I want to see explosion off the ball. I want to see him maintain a pad level, a relatively low pad level, and one move off of it. So explosion, decent pad level, and one move, whether it's a chop, a swim, whatever it is, just one move. I just want to see them be able to function with one functioning move, you know? And so that's what I'll be looking for out of probably those three guys, Bell, Pickens, and Dexter.
Yeah, I don't think you have a problem with pad level with Bell, because his pads are pretty low to the ground since he's already pretty low to the ground. But the taller fellas, yeah, that's an issue that I know that Dexter, yeah, him, the one, yeah, him, Pickens, Dexter had coming out of college was that he would stand straight up, and being as tall as he is, getting under the pad level of somebody 6'6" who's standing straight up is not hard. But when he did get, out leveraged, he was able to anchor. Now going against this NFL strength, we would hope that the coaching is going to get those levels lower. Now Pickens, he can refine his technique as well, but I think he's a little more refined in what he does than Dexter is. But they're still, young, up and coming studs.
One other thing before you go, kids. One other thing I left out. We said explosion. We need to work on get off. We need to work on pad level. Another thing, and one move. We also need to work on hand placement. I've seen a lot of times between Dexter and Pickens when they got in there, their hands were out of place when making the initial contact. Need to get those hands in tighter and do a better job with the hand fighting. I think Pickens looked a little bit better than Dexter last week as far as that went, but that was just sparingly. You know what I mean? I want to see all those things, man. But go ahead, kids.
Yeah, man. I want to see both of them. I didn't see, just to touch on it a little bit. I didn't see Bell. I found the same list, Trip. I don't see Bell on this list, so I think he's going to play, and we're going to get some looks at him today, regardless, which is in my opinion, a good thing. I like what I saw last week. Yeah. They still like what he's been doing this week. All the more reason to sit all these guys. They got to cut down this roster. And looking at who they have sitting, I think we're going to get a real interesting look at the second and third team. And these guys could end up, they could wind up playing today. As far as pad level is concerned, the Flus did bring it up on a couple of occasions, specifically with respect to Dexter. He's a tall guy. He does tend to stand much more upright than he needs to. Again, he's getting that coaching, and at least that's definitely the message from Flus. I'm going to assume that it rolls right down to his D-line coach, right? So, hopefully he can show some of that here today. I'll leave it there.
Trip, to keep it rolling, man. What do you think about this? It's still a battle, whether we see it that way. I know Tyreek made strides, but there's still a battle between Tyreek and Terrell Smith. Now, I don't know
Terrell Smith. You get to see that today.
Are either one of those guys out? What's that going to look like?
They're both playing. They're not on this list.
Yeah, they're not on the list.
Neither one.
But Jalen Johnson is. So we're going to see what it looks like without him out there with the young guys.
So that's going to be interesting. But I'm going to say this one more time. Come on, guys. We have 493. We got one sub. We need 7, man, to put us to 500. Come on, guys. We need your help. But that's going to be but what's more interesting to me is the slot. Who is going to be in the rotational slot? We know we got Kyler. Who's gonna win that thing? Blackwell hasn't been playing, so I think it's Greg Stroman's job to win or lose. What do you guys think?
Hey, kids.
Straight up, I don't see either one of them on this list, so I'm pulling for Stroman. I think he is a little bit ahead. We'll see what he can do today. I'm really interested to see who's going to play backup for Kyler, just in case something happens down the road. We do need depth at that position. It's very important in this defense. Again, we'll watch that.
Yeah, I don't have a favorite. I'm not pulling for any one particular player. I want them all to succeed. I just want to see the number that I keep saying, oh, damn, this number keeps flashing. Damn, this number keeps flashing. It's like, that's the guy. So whoever identifies themselves, who stands up when the lights are on, as Kat says, that's who it's gonna be. Blackwell, he ended last season on IR, and not being able to go this season is not a good look. Ojemudia, I think he's a outside guy. I don't know if he plays a nickel, but you haven't heard his name a whole lot. So maybe this is his opportunity, or whoever. I don't know, but that's part of the excitement, baby. This game day, baby. It's game day. This preseason.
Which media did take advantage of the little snaps he got there too.
I'm cool. It's preseason. I'm cool.
Did you just say Dan Gay?
Hey man, don't come for me.
Don't even get him started. Nah, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Anyway, IP Mante says we sound better on Twitch. I don't know what that's all about. I've never heard us on Twitch. That's going to be an interesting thing to check out after the show. But hey, listen, man, that I'm really concerned about the slot spot, man. I want to make sure we got what we need. I think we have some guys in camp. It could be I think it's going to be several moves that happen after this game. I think it's going to be revealing because we're not going to have the running backs, man. Nobody's talking about the running backs. It's going to be a lot of Roshan. It's going to be a lot of sounds like Deontay Foreman. I don't think his name hit that list. Did it, Trip?
No, he was not on that list, but
no.
Now the depth that we thought we had at that room is going to be, somewhat tested. They're going to be some the whoever plays running back, Roshan and Homer was on that list. Ebner was on that list. Khalil was on that list. So it has to be Foreman.
It's basically the entire first team is out. Like I think you could probably look at it that way. I'm trying to think who from the first team is still playing here.
I didn't hear Tevin.
You're right. Tevin's not on this list.
So they want to see what Tevin and Braxton is not playing. So there's somebody, Tevin and Larry, next to each other. I think it's going to be tackle guard.
We sound like for those that celebrate Christmas, we down there on Christmas Eve shaking the box. Is that a center?
This is a G.I. Joe.
Right, what is that? Is that a right guard? Who's playing right guard? Is that Carter playing the whole game again? What's going on in there? It's like, oh man, the excitement, y'all. The excitement.
No, that's just you. Let's I do want to see the running back. We're gonna probably see a lot of ground game. They want to see how these guys function together on the offensive line, man. We're talking about Leatherwood. Can he continue the his strong performance from last week? Borum and I think Aviante Collins have a lot to prove. Doug Kramer on the line. We're talking about the line now.
Yeah.
Dieter. These new guys, Lug and I can't think of names right off the top of my head. Several guys.
Howard Steinberg.
Yeah.
It's not Stenberg. Yeah.
Larry Borum.
Mm-hmm. So we need to see how well they function together. Wherever they're playing, whatever spots they put them in. I like to, one thing to pay attention to is to see whether Bourne flips sides. Remember, he played left tackle last week and had a strong performance. They're trying him out as a swing tackle, I believe. And so it'd be interesting to see which side of the ball he starts off on. And so with that being said, I really, it's going to be interesting to see how that all shakes out. I hope it looks good for most of these guys. I hope they make it really hard for the GM to make choices, man, because that's what you want. You want a team that you're struggling to figure out who I need to cut. And so that's how we know what we have, man.
And then, the Nomaniacs there in the chat on the Nomad Network on YouTube, also now heard on Twitter. I'm sorry, Twitter, Twitch, awesome. Facebook, big up. But the name Tyson Bagent keeps coming up.
Yes, sir. I'm a fan. I don't give a damn. I'm a fan. I don't care. He looks good. Looked great last week. I'm just saying, PJ Walker looked terrible last week, and I was questioning the world. And here comes this kid out of nowhere, and I'm pretty sure, I'll have to talk to Braggs about this myself, but I swear, I was watching some show with Braggs some long time ago. He was on a podcast, and he was talking about Bagent before we drafted Bagent. Just saying that he's like a under the radar guy. If he shows up on the team, don't be surprised. He's really good. And lo and behold, we draft him. here we are. This kid looks good, man. He's got some decent accuracy. He isn't Justin Fields mobile, but he can shake and bake a little bit. I'm interested. I want to see more. Definitely want to see more.
And you're going to see more. But his position on the team, his status on the team, I don't know. When you have a young quarterback, and I'm saying this about PJ Walker. I think what's more important right now, they're going to take their time and try to keep Badgett on the team and develop him, but you don't want that backing up probably a second year quarterback in the system. You need a veteran. Is PJ Walker the veteran that we need, or do we need to sign another veteran? That's the question to me. So I'm interested in Badgett. I like what I saw, but I'm more interested in who's qualified to back up Justin, because you definitely need a veteran at number 2 spot.
Well, I would definitely see keeping PJ as the number 2, but Badgett removing Mr. Peterman, from the number 3 spot, since now we can keep 3 quarterbacks on game day and it doesn't count against the roster.
But Peterman looked good last week, and I can't base the world on last week. He looked a heck of a lot better than PJ did. I gotta give Peterman
relish your time with Mr. Peterman. He will soon be gone.
You think so?
Without a doubt in my mind. They're gonna cut PJ. Badgett looks good. Peterman, he'll be gone.
Hey, we'll see about Badgett. I like what I saw. Let's put him under fire again and see how he performs. One game ain't gonna tell him a whole lot. You need to see him be able to sustain that for a couple more weeks. And so if he does that 2 times in a row, goes out there and puts up a good showing, then we got something. But one game ain't telling you a whole lot.
I don't suspect that they would draft a quarterback and put him on the practice squad, to be honest with you. I don't suspect anything along those lines. I think they're going to try and develop the kid, and I think he looks decent from what little development he's had. It's only been a couple of months here. That's my 2 cents on the kid. I'm just interested in watching a little bit more football with him, because once again, I don't. Chris is saying they're going to keep PJ. I don't know, man. He played really poorly last week. He's played apparently really poorly all the way through camp. I don't know.
Mind, kids. Who do you think between PJ and Peterman can replicate the Bears' offense if Justin goes down?
Well, I have to agree with you there. He definitely is a much more common sense pick. There's other guys out there who could do similar things. Cam Newton, you know what I mean? There's other guys out there who are sitting around doing that.
They signed him specifically to be able to pinch hit for Justin if something happens to him.
I know, and that's why I was all over.
I think
total favor of them.
Last week he'll get grace for last week, and he'd have to just be a disaster the rest of the preseason for them to get rid of him.
But do you roll with a guy who shits the bed for the entire preseason? Pardon my
well,
language.
The thing with Peterman's been in the league. He is up against his glass ceiling right now, and PJ might have some more left, but he's definitely of those two. PJ's not going to be the odd man out.
Well, but I think maybe you let them both go, and you go get somebody else, like Nomad was sort of suggesting.
Well,
I would keep Peterman if PJ's shitting the bed.
So my thing is this: it gets weird in the preseason because the backup you spend so much time, and the third string guy spends so much time not throwing to the upper tier receivers.
The first offense,
yeah. And so you see a little bit of that going on, because I think he overthrew Mooney. I think it was last week. I think he overshot Mooney. And so you see, it's just a chemistry thing. Not to make excuses for PJ Walker, because he's constantly been being the subject of some real bad play in camp. But you can attribute some of that to the chemistry between which receivers he's working with in camp. So, I mean, I just want to see how that shakes out. We got a couple more things before we get out of here, man. What do you guys think? I'm going to be watching really closely the safeties. The guy we just drafted, Kendall Williamson, A.J. Thomas, and Elijah Hicks. Really, really closely.
And Colbert.
Yeah, Colbert. Yes, my bag. You're right. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it's just it's I'm gonna say a corporate name here, and I don't know if they have these in Canada. 31 flavors, Baskin Robbins kids.
Yeah, baby.
All right. So you know how you go in, it's like, let me sample this one. And by the time you sample
Embarrassment of riches.
full, you know what I mean? So it's like every room, every position group is like, all right, we think we know who our veterans kind of are, but who are the young guys coming up? Who's going to make a name? So every position group, to get out real fast before we got to go because it's almost game time. Damn it. The safeties, all that, but also specifically Fountain wide receiver and December Webster wide receiver, because they've been making plays the entire preseason, camp and all that. So I want to see if they continue this with the PJ and Badgett and Peterman, whoever's throwing them the ball.
So, I will say that both Peterman and Badgett had to play with the second or third team as well, right? So they also have that same excuse built in, but it looks like, again, from what we're seeing, both of them have performed a little bit better than PJ. And that worries me. We definitely need somebody of a similar style who can perform well in this offense. We'll see what they wind up doing there. But to move over to the guy I had to give a big yeah to, that's December Webster. I'm hyped to see what he does today because, hands. Like that's all I'm saying. I want to see him in the return game. Clearly, I want to see him as a receiver. I want to see what he can do in both of those respective crafts. Let's see what he can do because, the other guy's hurt and he's giving him an opportunity to do it. Mm-hmm. That's really all I got to say there.
Oh, in Baskerville.
The other guy, yeah.
Baskerville.
We're gonna that's gonna be it for us guys because we only have we have 6 minutes to kick off, and we're gonna wrap this thing up.
Excuse me, Dougie Fresh, you're on. Sorry,
we're gonna wrap this thing up really quick. And one more time, man, before we get out of here, 2 numbers to pay attention to. It's gonna be very, very important to what happens between now and time to cut and pick up some guys. Is number 46, who is Michael Walker, and number 50. Who was the new linebacker we just picked up a couple of days ago, Davion, what is Davion's last name? Taylor. Davion Taylor. So watch those 2 numbers and see how they do, whether they play together or whether they play before or after each other. Are they trying them out at the same spots? Will they play?
What was his number again, Nomad?
Which one?
Davion.
50.
50. Thank you, sir.
So number 46 and number 50. One more time. But we're going to get out of here. Let you guys know. Don't forget, we're coming on right after CHGO, man. Right after CHGO with a Nomad at Night for you guys to wrap a post-game show. So be ready for that. I think Tripp said he might burn up something. And so
that's why I'm drinking coffee. So, yeah, that MF will be televised.
All right, we're going to get out of here. But before we get out of here, we're going to leave you guys with this. Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Bear down, baby.
Bear down.